Paul Rudd is daddy and Ant-Man is a fun movie, and I will not be convinced otherwise. Hey, what's going on, friends? My name is John, but people on the internet call me Narwhal, and I'm currently in the midst of watching through every single superhero movie ever made in order. Today we have Ant-Man. All right, here's the deal. Paul Rudd makes everything and anything better. I mean, look at his lineup. Anchorman, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Night at the Museum, Knocked Up, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Role Models, I Love You Man, Sesame Street. Wait, what the fuck? He's in Sesame Street Being Green from 2009. I don't even know what that is. I mean, I know what Sesame Street is, but I haven't seen that Sesame Street. Monsters vs. Aliens, Year One, Dinner for Schmucks, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. That movie is fucking amazing. This Is the End, Anchorman 2, and then Ant-Man, and then a bunch of other good shit after that too. I mean, this guy is just, he is a beacon of hope and joy for every human being on the planet. Everyone wants to be like Paul Rudd. Everyone wants to be Paul Rudd. Everyone wants to be inside all right, my point is, he's a cool guy, and I'm just so glad they casted him because I think he's perfect for the role. Something I thought was really funny and weird about this movie is the main villain. Apparently his name is Darren Cross. Definitely didn't get that at all while watching the movie. Like, that did not stick in my head at all. Darren Cross sounds like a name I've never heard in my life. That is something that I think a lot of these movies don't do a good job of sometimes, particularly more of like the less important ones. They just never have a villain memorable enough for me to know their actual name, or they just don't say their actual name enough. Anyway, the actor who plays him in this movie named Corey Stoll, he always plays this like egotistical douchey villain who thinks he's the shit. I swear I've seen like 5 or 6 movies where he plays almost the same character, and then people were commenting that I look like him, which first of all, I don't really want to look like him, so I hope that I don't. I mean, he's not ugly, but he's bald, and I don't want to be bald, and I have a beard and he doesn't, I don't think. If you're gonna say I look like someone, give me someone hot, man. This is unrelated to the movie, but I do want to say, if you guys watching ever see an actor or just like any famous person that you think I'm like their doppelganger or that I look like them, please, for the love of God, like message me or comment or something, because I want to know who I look like, because I feel like I don't have any doppelgangers. Anyway, I really love the scenes when Ant-Man was learning how to use his suit. I thought they were hilarious, and I think it really lets Paul Rudd's comedic sides, what did I just say? It lets Paul Rudd's comedic side shine when you let him do this physical comedy of him learning how to use the suit and shit. And I think one of the biggest strengths of this movie is obviously like the action scenes when he gets really small is awesome. I think the briefcase fight is probably the coolest part of the whole movie, but also because of the premise of this story in the universe, they almost have this freedom that other movies in the series don't have, in the sense that near the end of the movie, there's this scene where a tank just plows through like a business building from the top floor. And if any other movie was to have done that, I would have kind of rolled my eyes and thought that it was like some cheesy action scene, like, oh my God, another fucking tank plowing through a building and everyone's gonna be fine and blah, 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 blah. But I didn't feel this way about this movie because all of this action is totally justified in the universe, because Paul Rudd literally can shrink to the size of an ant, and then he can also get way bigger. So it's using this premise in a lot of other ways outside of just the main character doing it. The tank that plowed through the building was actually started as a small keychain. And to me, that was just like such a genius writing move. I was like, oh my God, yeah, if you had something small in your pocket, you could then use that later to disrupt the whole fucking thing, and it would be awesome. Does that make sense? I don't think I worded that very well, and I usually don't word things. I kind of just ramble on here. I guess the best way to put it is I feel like the absurdity was justified, whereas in some of these other films, the absurdity feels like absurdity for the sake of absurdity. I think that kind of makes sense. Now that I think about it, I don't know if that makes sense, because they're all fucking superheroes. They can do the most absurd shit they want. So my whole argument there, I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully you know what I mean. Surprisingly, I actually cared about the relationship between Hank Pym and his daughter. Usually, I don't care about the relationships of the supporting characters in many of these superhero movies. I feel like they put most of their focus in making you care about the main character and kind of the main character's relationship to one of the supporting. But in this movie, Scott is the main character, and surprisingly, I cared about the relationship between Hank and Hope kind of as much as I cared about the relationship between Scott and Hope, or Scott and Hank. It was just one big triangle of love and passion. Well, that's not really what I meant to say. I personally just cared about all 3 of them, which I was a little surprised by. And I just thought the concept of like this guy's wife being literally stuck in like a subatomic world is fucking horrifying. Just imagine not knowing if like one of your best friends is alive or dead because they went subatomic and they like flew into this microphone and they just can't get out. Like my best friend, the co-host to my podcast, Kyle, could be stuck inside this microphone for my entire life and not be able to get out, and there's nothing I can do to help him. That's some scary shit. Personally, I cared more about the sneaky stealth missions than I did about like the big action. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that stuff like the briefcase scene wasn't awesome, because it was, but I liked that there was a mix of like some sneaky stealth stuff as well as just like balls to the wall action. But yeah, I thought Ant-Man was super fun. By no means did it reinvent the wheel. It's pretty standard in terms of story structure, and it kind of was generally what I expected, but I thought the humor worked well. It was overall fun, and I cared about a lot of the characters more than I thought I would. And T.I. was in this movie, which was super fucking random, but pretty awesome. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like and leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought of Ant-Man. Seriously, go leave a comment, because I love talking to you guys. Even if you have nothing cool to say, just say what's up. And subscribe here if you're new, because there's new videos every other day. And I also have a podcast called Peak to Middle School, which I think is an amazing podcast. There's literally over 255 episodes with full video versions on YouTube. I think it's super underrated, and I'm trying to spread the word and get more people to listen to it because I really love it. So we made a list of the 20 worst first dates we could think of, and we're going to try and find the worst one.
Family function versus religious event.
Okay.
It's either you're going to hang out with God or you're going to hang out with their family. So which one are you going to choose? I don't know which one's worse.
God versus family.
Yeah.
Both of which people just don't want to.
You don't want to be with either on your first date.
All right, I'm going to go watch Captain America Civil War. Wish me luck.